The Red Shield appeal is on this weekend, and this year the Salvation Army is aiming to raise $37 million to help fund more than 2,000 services in Australia. Well, joining me live is Major Brendan Nottle, Commanding Officer for the Red Shield appeal. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, a big weekend. Tell us about it.
We've got a huge weekend, but it's absolutely necessary because the Salvation Army recently did some research and found that 50% of those people that we interviewed actually said right across the nation they were struggling to afford essential healthcare. 52% said they're struggling to afford meals. 75% said they're under significant housing stress. And what we're seeing every single day is a system which is creaking, people are falling through the cracks. And we're seeing new faces come into our 2,000 centres right across the country. There are people that previously have actually come to the Salvation Army and said, we want to donate. And now they're actually turning up and saying, we're in significant need here. And we're seeing record numbers, and we desperately need more funds to actually be able to meet the growing need. And we believe a need which is going to continue to grow significantly over the next 18 to 24 months.
It is a really dire time for so many people, and we're hearing stories of people choosing between a meal over having a warm night in their homes, heating and so forth. Can you share with us some of these stories that you're hearing?
Well, it's actually tragic because we're hearing people say to us, I've made a conscious decision that this winter I won't switch the heating on. And some of us can hear that and think, oh, well, life might be a little bit uncomfortable. But for some people that are saying this, it's actually a matter of life and death. That's how serious this is. We've got other people that are not just saying, oh, I might just cut back to 2 meals. They're actually saying there are days where I go without any meals. So these are really significant issues. And I think when we reach out to the Australian community at a time which is our Red Shield appeal, and we need to raise $37 million, we're actually saying to them, will you please ensure that nobody stands alone in this country? Will you stand with us, but more importantly, stand with the people in this country that are really struggling to make ends meet? One of the things that's really hitting me hard is I go into our centres and I actually see people in high vis coming in for a meal. There are people that are employed full-time, they're doing everything they can to make ends meet, and they simply can't. And that's where we need Australians to stand with us and just do whatever they can. It might be a small amount, for some might be a larger amount. Whatever they can give would be gratefully received because we know it's going directly to those that are really struggling to survive at this time.
The Salvation Army has been around for many years. Give us a background on some of the services that you provide.
Well, Salvation Army's actually been around since 1880 in this country, and our plan is to be around for at least another 140 years. And we provide accommodation to people that are in crisis and have nowhere else to go. We provide long-term housing, but more importantly, the Salvation Army provides long-term housing with support. So we're addressing the drivers that cause people to be homeless in the first place. So when they get their accommodation, we want to keep them there. We supply support for people that are looking for employment. We supply support for people that are caught up in family violence situations, which is one of the key drivers for homelessness in this country. We supply support to people that are just struggling to make ends meet and they need emergency relief. They need food, parcels, assistance with utility payments as well. So there's a whole cross-section of work that happens right across this country in over 2,000 centres that we run. And the reality is that $37 million goes towards ensuring that we keep the doors open for another 12 months. It's not money that we use for new projects, it's money to keep the services going. And so that's why it's so critical that if people can donate this year, they do that.
And tell us what will be happening this weekend with the Red Shield appeal.
We've got people everywhere this weekend actually. So you'll see them in shopping centres, you'll see them at train stations, you might hear them knocking on your door. But if for some reason you don't see them, we just want to encourage people to either call 13 Salvos or go to salvationarmy.org.au. And if they can donate in some way, that would be great. And if you see a smiling face on the end of a container and you've got some cash in your pocket, then feel free to use that. But there's also collectors out and about today at Static Points and tomorrow as well that will have tap and go. So if you're able to assist in that way, that would be gratefully appreciated as well.
And, we do have a lot of people that are fearful of scamming online and also people coming to your door. What would you say to people that are a little bit hesitant?
I'll look for the ID because people collecting for the Red Shield appeal this year will be clearly and officially identified. They'll be wearing some sort of bib or an ID, and they'll be carrying a container that has a Salvation Army logo on it. But if for some reason they're concerned, then you can go to salvationarmy.org.au and donate online.
And tell us about the volunteers, because obviously they give up their time, they're so selfless, and they certainly go year on year for many of the volunteers.
Well, the volunteers are our gold. So without them, we wouldn't be able to get out on the streets and get into static points around the country and receive generous donations from people. And they come from all walks of life. So some are from service clubs, some are from local churches, some are school groups, some are elderly people that have been doing this for decades, and they see it as their way of giving back to the community. So we want to say two things. One, a huge, huge thank you to our volunteer base. They are absolutely amazing. They're our gold. And we love them dearly. And the other thing that we want to say, if you see them, don't just donate, but give them a hug on the shoulder and just appreciate them and value them as well.
Major Brendan Nottle, thank you so much, and hope you raise the money that you need.
Oh, thanks so much for your support. We really appreciate the support of Sky News and all of your viewers.
Thank you so much.